Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our presentation this morning. My name is Lori Atkinson, and I'm the Regional Manager for Libro Credit Union in our Windsor-Essex region. And I do have some of my colleagues joining me from Libro as well, and a special guest who is a previous annual grant recipient is going to share a little bit about their journey with our annual granting program. We're really excited to join you again virtually this year to share some information about Libro's annual grant program and to have with us one of our former grant recipients who will be sharing their experience with all of you today. There will be a question and answer period after the presentation, but please feel free to write your questions in the chat as we speak and we'll address them either then or you can also ask your questions during the Q&A period. First, I want to share a little bit about Libro. So Libro Credit Union is banking with a difference. At Libro, everything we do is with the goal of growing prosperity in our communities. That's the Libro Purpose, growing prosperity by transforming banking in southwestern Ontario. And that means we have a purpose beyond profit. As a full-service financial institution serving over 110,000 customers, who we call owners, through a network of digital service and 36 physical locations, we are devoted to the idea that everyone can prosper if we can all work together. When you deal with Libro, you know that 100% of your revenue is earned right here in southwestern Ontario, and 100% of the profits remain here as well. We create stronger communities by focusing our business to improve a number of things in our 4 pillars, namely employment, housing, local food accessibility, and financial resilience. 5 years ago, we made the commitment to be a living wage employer. In 2017, we started on a journey to become a certified B Corporation. For those of you who are not familiar with this, it means we joined a global movement of companies using their business as a force for good. We went through a third-party verified impact assessment, and we earned our certification in 2018. We were later recognized as one of the best for the world. And that is in B Corps overall. And last year, we went through our recent recertification process. In the fall of 2021, Libro was asked to participate in a first ever social purpose rating system. Out of an initial sample of 197 businesses with headquarters or significant operations in Canada, only 34 businesses met that criteria of having a stated purpose that creates value for society, rather than solely for shareholders or customers. We were recognized with the gold rating, something we are very proud of. We have committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and are continuing to learn in this space. We're exploring climate change action, and last year became the first Canadian credit union to exclusively offer responsible investments through our partner at NEI Investments. We want our owners, so our customers, and the communities we serve to be better off because of what we do. People's lives should become richer, their goals more defined, and their futures brighter. And we know that we can't do this alone. That's why we support and partner with organizations like the ones you represent today. Organizations that share our passion for making a positive impact in the communities we serve. Community organizations that are helping address some of the most challenging issues in southwestern Ontario. And those issues have only become more intensified with the pandemic. We have identified these 4 pillars as the areas we plan to influence through absolutely everything we do, including our community investment. Those pillars are employment, financial resilience, local food accessibility, and housing. In regards to employment, our goals are really to help increase productive employment and decent work for all, reduce the talent shortage, and support agriculture and small business, including social enterprises and cooperatives, which Libro is a cooperative. We want to improve people's financial resilience. So that's improving their financial capacity and the resilience of people, businesses, and organizations. As well, we are very passionate about local food accessibility, improving food systems to increase access to local food for all. And housing, albeit a very, very complex issue. We look to enhance access to adequate, safe, and affordable housing for all. Through our annual grants program, we will fund projects aligned with the pillars and the goals that I just mentioned. And in addition, we will consider our decision-making, how those projects are helping in the recovery and rebuilding of our communities. On our website at libro.ca/grants, you will find a list of examples of the types of projects we would fund. Those are just examples, and if your project aligns with the overall goal of the pillar and impacts Southwestern Ontario, you may be eligible for a grant, and we would love to hear from you. This year, we will invest $310,000 right here in Southwestern Ontario, and those grants will be between $5,000 and $20,000 per project. So some of the criteria that we look for, and all application submissions must answer yes to the mandatory criteria requirements, or the application cannot be considered to move forward. The mandatory criteria to be eligible to apply for a grant is that you must be a local, not-for-profit organization, a registered charity, municipality or public institution, or unregistered community group. Your organization must generate benefits in Southwestern Ontario and demonstrate fiscal responsibility, effective management skills, and expertise. And in addition, the organization must demonstrate a commitment to the project through a meaningful contribution of your own human capital, financial resources, and also have a clear evaluation and measurement process to track impact. Some examples of ineligible applications, or some elements that would make an application ineligible, include requests for emergency relief, initiatives that are not aligned with Libro's pillars, individual or private business applicants, projects outside of Southwestern Ontario, and partisan or religious events or purposes that are not open to all members of the community. However, I will add, if a religious group applies, as long as the project or initiative they're applying for is open to all, and not just to one specific denomination, it would qualify. Expenses that are not eligible include deficit or debt reduction, retroactive expenses, ongoing operational expenses, and some examples of that would be around utility bills, ongoing monthly costs to run the business in general. What we want to do is to support a program and not the day-to-day operational costs. Another expense that is ineligible is the endowment matching grant. I will clarify here, and it's important to note that salaries to hire people to administer the program are permitted. So sometimes there's a lot of confusion that those are not permitted when in fact that they are. We understand, pardon me, that paying someone to administer a program is normal, it's expected, and it's permitted under the grant. So some important dates to remember. Applications are open now, so you can go again to libro.ca/grants and submit your applications. Applications close on June the 12th. We will have our grant announcements, which is always a wonderful time for Libro, and we get out and celebrate with all of the successful applicants in August. And then disbursements of funds are in October. I also want to mention that in addition to our grants, our annual grants program, Libro has a regular sponsorship, donation, and partnerships program. Applications for these programs are open all year round. So keep in mind that if the timing of our annual grant program doesn't align with your organization or your projects, that you can still submit an application for our regular sponsorship and donations. Through sponsorship and donations, Libro provides in-kind and financial support for up to $20,000, again, for local initiatives and events, again, aligned with our pillars. Applications for $20,000 and above, which we do consider, will be reviewed as impact partnerships. Libro partners with organizations that help us advance our strategic social purpose in Southwestern Ontario, creating measurable outcomes in the areas that we have identified as our pillars. And at this point, I am really excited to invite one of our 2021 grant recipients to share their impact story with us. So welcome Delna and Trish from CookUp.
Lori, thank you so very much. We're so happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Delna Buhariwala, and with me is Trishana Linton, and we're the founders of CookUp. And good morning to everyone. So talking about our impact story really is something that goes even beyond the grant. Last year, we were one of the recipients of Libro's grant. And our journey started with a call that we had with Lori and Shannon just about a year ago. To be very honest, we were not sure that we would be eligible. We were a new non-for-profit and we're just forming the organization. And that conversation really started the tone of what has become a really amazing partnership with a really amazing organization at Libro, because it was Lori that encouraged us to submit an application. So without that, we would not have done so. But before I say anything else, just a little bit about CookUp. We are a non-for-profit food business incubator. We work primarily with early stage food entrepreneurs from marginalized communities. And so everything that we do in terms of the business coaching and the services that we support entrepreneurs with are done with those unique needs in mind to address those unique barriers of that group. Our vision is to build an inclusive, vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem in our community so that the entire community is transformed for the better. So this really aligned well when we were talking about, writing the application in alignment with Libro's pillars. And it was one of the things that also really motivated us to submit the application. Our services include affordable access to a kitchen space. Early stage food entrepreneurs, this is one of the key barriers because accessing affordable kitchen space, licensed kitchen space, is often something that removes a lot of people from even entering the game. So that was one of the first things that we wanted to offer, and that was made possible through the support with Libro. But the other thing that we also really find and that we hear from our entrepreneurs is that the access to the kitchen space where they can make their product, of course, is very important, but that what then keeps them in that long marathon journey, which is what being an entrepreneur is very much about, is the access to social connections and capital and mentors and networks. So for us, our journey with Libro has meant that we were able to conduct a program with 5 entrepreneurs and take them through from the concept stage to the launch and growth stage. So I'm really happy to be able to share with you the people that have been directly impacted through Libro support. And in some of the pictures in the next slide, you'll be able to see that we started working with a group of 5 entrepreneurs, taking them from the business development stage, getting the insurance and those first foundational pieces. And all of the entrepreneurs that you're seeing have since launched their business, are at the farmers market, are at different retail locations around the city. And this would not have been possible without the grant. So we thank you very, very much from us and from these individuals. This picture right in the middle there, if I can just draw your attention, was the visit that Libro visited us at our location. And another, I think, reason we were so excited to receive you, because yes, the financial support is very, very appreciated. But I really think that for us, the long-lasting value of finding a partner in Libro that believes in what you're doing and is there beyond the grant, which is how we really view Libro and have experienced, is really the value for us. So we thank you very much for your support. The application process itself was very straightforward until just very recently. We're now in the stage where we're reporting on our impact metrics, and even answering questions about that was quite easy. So we wish all of the potential applicants here on the call all the very, very best, and thank you for inviting us today.
So at this point, we hand it over to you to ask if you have any questions for us. I just want to say thank you, Trish and Delna. I agree, it's been a wonderful partnership, and look forward to many, many more years. So Karen or Darby, do we have any questions from the audience? So the one question, just wondering if you have applied for a sponsorship donation, can you also apply for the annual grant? Also, what is the typical range of the asks approved for community projects? And I can go ahead and answer that. The answer is yes. To what Delna was speaking about, Libro was really interested in building long-term impact partnerships. So if you have been successful in a sponsorship or a donation of any kind, and you have another program that you think would qualify, please do apply. And the typical range of the asks for the community projects is between $5,000 and $20,000. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, I'll just take a moment to recap what the key dates are. Again, we will have applications are open now, so please go to libro.ca/grants, and it's very easy to submit the application. From there, applications do close on June the 12th, and announcements will be made in August, and then the funding is dispersed in October. We do have one more question I'm seeing. Can you provide insights into evaluation and measurement? What kind of outcomes and indicators are you looking for? That's a great question. Again, we are looking to impact or to have impact within our key pillars. So when you think about employment, we would look to see number of jobs created, number of businesses created, in financial resilience. You know, how many individuals have you helped improve their financial literacy? In housing, again, very complex subject, but what has been your impact within that realm? And I think we have some more questions coming in. Can programs like Cook Up, who have won, win again? I will say the answer is depends. Again, we do like to create long-term partnerships. If there is another program or something that also has influence within our 4 key pillars, we would be prepared to look at that. I've got not a question, but thank you for all you do. Thank you, and thank you to everyone on the call. I know we had 70 registrants for today's call. I can't see you all, but I want to thank you for all of the great work you do in our communities as well. How engaged can or will Libro be involved in proposed projects? You know, I always like to say that Libro doesn't like to just cut a check. We really like to partner and participate in the programming that will have impact in Southwestern Ontario. Although we know you are the experts. You are the experts in your program. We do not want to get into the weeds and tell you how to run your program. That is not the intent at all. But if we can provide coaching and support, financial services, of course, if we can connect you with into other individuals in the community, we support you by promoting your organization and the project. We'd like to be able to do that. So again, we can be engaged in whatever way that you would like us to be engaged. So we do have some other questions coming in. Can you talk more about the second stream of funding, the timing or the funding amounts? So certainly that is our regular sponsorship, donations and partnerships, and you can find that link off of our website as well. The timing about that, there is no timing, so you can submit an application at any time whatsoever. Those are reviewed regularly within our various regions that we support, and there is an investment panel that looks at those applications and determines if they are a fit and if there's alignment, and how we will support. So again, those funding amounts can be from, I'm going to say $25 up to $20,000. Anything over that $20,000 mark does go to our impact partnership review, and those are really reviewed on a monthly basis. So if there is something time sensitive, I do suggest that you do get those in as early as you can. So another question, since youth are leaving the region, would a program mentoring youth in a particular sector be a successful project? I could say it might be. Again, if it's impacting employment and has specific measurables that we can see that it would impact employment levels for youth in our region, I would say that that is an aligned project. I can't commit to that being supported right now, but definitely something that we would look at. The next question, are your grants open to First Nation communities? And I will say that is a big yes, and absolutely. One of our recipients last year was Caldwell First Nation in the Leamington area, and they received a $20,000 grant to support a feasibility study for a sustainable housing initiative that is moving along very quickly right now. So yes, we absolutely would support applications from the First Nation communities. Another question, could financial resiliency be for caregivers in our communities? You know, I would say that, again, we will support projects that build capacity, build financial literacy, and build financial resiliency with constituents in our communities. That would be a very broad term. Again, I can't speak to specifics, and it would have to be outlined in your submission, what exactly that would look like. You know, we wouldn't, I'm going to say we wouldn't necessarily support, if the question is, would we pay for caregiving in our communities? I would suggest that that's probably not something that might align, but if it's to improve the capacity and the financial resilience of caregivers, absolutely it would. Next question is, can or should we include potential engagement with Libro in a proposal? Absolutely, you should. We'd be really excited to look at how we can play a part in the success of the program. And another question, would research projects that align be eligible? And I would say yes, yes, they would be. All right. So with that, I'm not seeing any further questions come in. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We are here to support you. And I want to thank Delna and Trish, my good friends from CookUp, for joining us here today and being an advocate for Libro. Thank you very much. We certainly have enjoyed our partnership and look forward to a long-lasting relationship. And you guys are doing great things in our community. And I want to thank my colleagues from Libro for joining us here today. And I wish everybody a beautiful day. And I hope you get out to enjoy some of this lovely weather we're having. So thank you very much. Good luck to you on your application, and we look forward to seeing you in August. So thank you very much.
Thank you.